Good evening, fellow WWE fans. I'd like to talk about some contrasting points with wrestlers that I grew up watching, and what I want to talk to you tonight about is heels and faces, and which wrestler actually fits in a better category. Now, I'll start off with the wrestler that got me into the WWE, well, the WWF in 1999, and that is the game Triple H. Now, when I first started watching, he was a heel, and he used a lot of underhanded tactics to get his way and to win the title. Especially when he drugged Stephanie McMahon at the drive-thru and married into the McMahon family, beat Vince McMahon at Armageddon, and subsequently screwed the Big Show out of the WWF title right before the Royal Rumble. Now, as a heel, he was on point. He had his factions. He aligned himself again with DX, and he was unstoppable. That was a great heel run he had from 1999 to about 2000, and then 2001 before he got his injury. Now, when he came back from injury in 2002, he came back as a face. Now, of course, at WrestleMania 18, everybody wanted Jericho to lose. It was really getting annoying. He was such a antagonistic heel. He beat The Rock, he beat Stone Cold in one night thanks to outside interference, and then at the Royal Rumble and No Way Out, he beat Rock and Austin in singles competition, and people really were just dead set on watching Y2J get his downfall. But once Triple H won the title as a face, he hastily dropped it to Hogan at Backlash in 2002, and I was really taken aback by that. I figured, with Triple H's long-standing tenure, he would have a lengthy face from his champion, but he kind of just dropped the belt to Hogan, and Hogan dropped it to The Undertaker, and it was just going downhill from there. Now, when Triple H got the title back in 2002 at the end at Armageddon, he was World Heavyweight Champion as a heel. And he had some lengthy runs with the title, and it worked out quite well. But when he was WWE Champion in 2008, after winning that Fatal 4-Way at Backlash, he was face. And that actually was kind of mildly okay. He had some good defenses, most notable him beating John Cena, getting retribution for that horrible WrestleMania 22 main event in Chicago. Then he dropped the belt to Jeff Hardy, got the belt back, only to drop to Randy Orton at Backlash 2009 in a 6-man tag. I feel that Triple H was more effective as a heel. He can fit the role as a face only, and this is my opinion, only when uniting DX with Shawn Michaels, or for reunion specials, he could work a face very well. But for a competitor, he needs to be a strong heel, an aggressive heel, underhanded tactics. I mean, even when he fought Brock Lesnar, you were rooting for him, but he got his arm broke. And then he won at WrestleMania, and then he lost again at Backlash. Extreme Rules. And it was like, wow. And then it was like, what does he do from there after losing to Brock Lesnar? Well, he turned heel for the long term in 2013 at SummerSlam, where he messed over Daniel Bryan for the title to side with Randy Orton again, this time forming The Authority. Even when Triple H was going against Roman Reigns, I was rooting for Triple H. And of course, they wanted you to side with Roman because he was the up-and-coming face of the company, but Roman Reigns was horrible. Roman Reigns was absolutely horrible. And I was rooting for Triple H as the heel. So, the concluding point, I feel Triple H is best served as a heel competitor and champion outside of reunion specials. Now, another person who was previously mentioned that worked very well as a heel was Randy Orton. It was quite unfortunate after his sudden win over Chris Benoit in 2004 for the world title that he turned face. It really didn't work out too well. Even when they had him up against Triple H, it was hard to get behind Randy Orton after seeing him in that heel role for so long. Now, better contrast is when Randy Orton turned heel and faced Triple H at WrestleMania 25. That build-up from the Royal Rumble win to punting Vince to taking out Shane to DDTing Stephanie and kissing her, that was vintage Viper Randy Orton right there. Even after he ended his rivalry with Triple H that year and feud with Cena, you really hated Orton guts, and for one rare circumstance, you wanted him to lose to Cena. That's a true heel characteristic for me. Now, yes, in 2011 he became World Heavyweight Champion, and his feud with Krishna this summer was so-so, and it was odd having him lose to Mark Henry. Twice, by the way. I feel Randy Orton is more effective as a heel than a face on most occasions. The only outside circumstances when he was ousted by the Authority, that was a little ironic considering they backed him in the beginning, but sold him out for Seth Rollins. Now, another person that I think was the best as a heel and not too good as a face was Edge. Coming out of the tag team division, going to singles competition, being taken more seriously after winning that first ever Money in the Bank ladder match at WrestleMania 21, Edge was on a roll. And he took the longest to cash in. Second to Mr. Kennedy, which, well, we saw how that went. But yes, back to Edge. He took almost a whole year to cash in the Money in the Bank, and when he finally cashed on Cena, it was epic and surprising and compelling, and you're like, wow, I can't believe he did that. And his title runs were pretty good. He even got a custom belt too with the Rated R Superstar logo on it. That was surreal. His feud with Cena was great, even when he went to Cena's house and slapped Cena's father. It was pitch perfect heel. Having Lita turn on Kane added to the suspense. Then before that, then after that actually, turning on Matt Hardy, you just really hated Edge and you wanted to watch him fail. Even his short-lived team-up with Randy Orton for Rated RKO was on point, and even added more heel heat to him. So with Edge, best as a heel, his face run, I wasn't really feeling that much. I was more looking forward to Randy Orton that gave Cena hell, that gave Ric Flair hell, that gave The Undertaker the worst hell. You know, that's the Edge we wanted to see. Now my theory is, even though it's been 5 years now, I think the WWE knew way before 2011 that Edge was on his way out due to injuries and couldn't physically compete anymore, and that's probably why they had him go over with Del Rio and retire the night after. Now the last person I want to talk about that actually works best as face and heel is The Undertaker. You really can't hate the guy. He's done some nasty, underhanded, horrible things, but it's really hard to get mad at the guy. He's a legend. He's been in the company for over 2 decades, had a great streak going, memorable rivalries, matches, Hell in a Cell. You know, it's really hard to say, you know, boo, Undertaker's horrible. You know, he works best as either or. Now, to contrast the point, we could say Stone Cold had a mixed reaction turning heel with the Alliance. But me personally, I love the Alliance storyline. It was the most compelling summer I ever had with the WWE. I was watching it all the time. Raw, SmackDown, all the branded pay-per-views for the Alliance versus WWE. I was on the edge of my seat just waiting to see what Stone Cold was going to do next. So that's a contrast point where you can say Austin actually, in my view, was a better heel. His face, of course, face not that bad. You know, had some good memories. But the heel Stone Cold was, that guy was awesome. So that concludes my brief rant on faces versus heels, and I will be doing more videos when the time allows. And if you have any choices or picks from WWF, WCW, ECW, or even TNA that you want to state were better heels and faces, comment below on this video, inbox me on Facebook, or comment in my Wrestling Associates group, and we'll get the discussion going. Thank you for tuning in to listen to my rant. Until next time, have a good night.